Ameen Abbas, and I'm working in NIC National Informatics Center in Hyderabad. So I have 16 years of experience in PostgreSQL. So I'm also a member of this PG Hyde, and we have conducted last 2 months back.
Can you make it louder?
Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. So can I repeat or it's fine?
Repeat.
Okay. So I'm Ameen Abbas, and I'm working currently in NIC National Informatics Center, Hyderabad, which is a central government organization. I'm a consultant to them, and NIC is hugely using open source databases, and most of the applications and software, all services which are providing, most of the services being used in Postgres only. So today I'm going to cover one topic. So how do we convert our streaming replication to logical replication? So what is the need of this, and why should we do this, right? So the main point is, for the logical replication, you have to the normal way is you have to take the copy of the source data and load into the target database. So it will be a time consuming data, and sometimes it will cause load on the servers, and because the copy will start getting on the primary server, because anyhow you are going to do primary to a logical replication, right? So there will be heavy load on the primary servers. So why do we need again logical replication apart from this is if you want to upgrade to the major version instead of minor version. So in the upgrade versions, you have to do a PG upgrade, which needs some downtime, because if you have a large amount of data, if you want to upgrade that, PG upgrade will do in 5 to 10 minutes. It won't take more than that. But later, if you want to set up any replications to the current setup after doing PG upgrade, it will again a time consuming for you if your data will be in terabytes of thing. So to avoid all these such things, logical replication is the best part, but doing logical replication in a simple way is very much needed in this case. So okay, so probably there are two replications available in Postgres. One is streaming and logical. So I already explained it. Basically, streaming is val based replication. Once any transaction is committed on the master, that will be replicated to the standby server. But whereas the same logical replication is, it will do the same, but during the same thing, but it's an object level replication. Whereas streaming replication is a total cluster level replication. Cluster in the sense where you can replicate multiple databases. But here in the logical replication, you can do object level, like table wise replications. And the thing is, logical replication won't support the DDLs. So these are the different scenarios in PostgreSQL. One is physical replication and logical replication. And physical has two ways. One is the log shipping, and another one is the streaming. Log shipping is once your 16 MB archive is filled, then it has to be moved to applied to the standby server, which will have a slight delay when compared to the streaming replication. Streaming is whatever committed transaction val segments will be replicated to the slave server. And logical have publication and subscription. So publication of multiple tables, multiple objects. So if you want to, if we have already started one logical replication, and in future if you want to add some more tables to that, you can add to the same publication the new tables, so that they will be subscribed to the slave servers. Okay, and there are two slots available. One is physical replication slot, and one is the logical replication slot. So when streaming replication was started, the slots were not there. So without slot also you can set up a streaming replication, but with slot also you can set the replication. So with slots, the advantage is, for example, if you have a large amount of data, right? If your standbys fall behind, and for that you are not maintaining archives. For example, let's assume you are not maintaining archives for the storage constraints. In that case, you have to keep the val segments, right, in that particular master to apply those things if the slave service fall behind. So in that case, you don't assume that how much val segments needed by the standby server. So in that case, there is a parameter called val keep segments. If you set around 100 GB or 200 GB cross, it won't keep those val keep segments which may be needed by your replication server. So are you getting, or I'm going fast? Fine, right? Okay. So in that case, we might lose those segments which needed by the replication. So in that case, the replication slot, what it will do is it will keep whatever last val which is required by this replication from that point to the till now. So all the segments will be kept in the PG val that will be in your master server. So the slots will use the physical replication slots will be used, even logical replication slots will be used in these two cases. And this is the same thing has been written here. Okay, so the logical replication slot has been introduced from PostgreSQL 10, and it will SQL type changes will be replicated to the slave, and you can't replicate the DDLs. So to start with, how do we convert one streaming server to a logical replication server? Okay, first both servers should be in the sync with the streaming replication. It should be 10 plus PostgreSQL 10 plus, and both servers need the replication access. Ensure that at the time of replication there should be try to avoid much load on the server, so that if something is going to fail, then to recover it will be much difficult. So this is a way of flow of the steps which we do in converting the SR to LR. So you have to configure these parameters first. The val level should be logical, and the max replication slot it's not fixed for. You can maintain whatever you want based on your replication slot, how many slots you want to maintain. And you have to restart the SQL Postgres master on this master server. And then you have to create a logical replication slot on the primary. So I will give a demo on that, was the list of steps. And this, then you have to see a logical replication will be copy the data from source to target based on the rows updated, and whatever delta changes happen on the master, they will be replicated automatically to the logical replication. So for the primary key table, it's very easy to copy. But whereas for the non-primary key tables, the replica identity should be set to full, so that the entire row will be whatever update happened to the row, the entire row will be get updated, and that updated row will be copied to the replication server. And after that you have to create the publication. Again here we are creating the publication on the master server. Now once the publication server has been created, you have to switch the streaming replication as a master server. You have to promote the server. Now there is no connection in between master and streaming, both will be segregated. Then here the point is, you have to once you promote that streaming replication, the primary will be the streaming will become a standalone machine, like it will become as a primary, so there won't be any replication happening on the streaming replication server. So at that time there's a redo done, LSN will be recorded in the log file. So you have to get that record, the LSN file record number, and you have to use that record number to tell the primary to start the logical replication from this LSN, so that you won't lose any data. Then you have to, the seventh step is advance the logical replication. That's what I told you, to tell that master to start the replication from this LSN. And then you have to create the subscription on the slave. And once the subscription is created, the data will be started replicating, because you already copied entire data. Now you no need to copy the data. Just the val segment need to be applied on the master to server from the time where we have switched the promote the streaming server. After that, the last step is you have to drop the physical replication slot, because which is not in use now, because the replication is already, the streaming replication has been stopped, so we no need to have that slot. If you keep this slot in the master, obviously it will increase the PG val size on your master server. Okay, now we have to give this earlier before, because now PG 17 is introduced very simple way by a command line tool called pg create subscriber. which will no need to do all these things. It will simply with a command tool it will do that. But now we are going to do on the 16, not on the 17. So after after migrating from logical, so you have to do monitoring by using pgstat replication and pgstat subscription and also pgstat replication slots. Okay, the practice is first you do practice on the test server, don't directly go and do in the production server. That's the one thing. And ensure the bandwidth and disk space available on the server, and regularly monitoring the replication lag exactly before you switching the servers from master to slave. Okay, so this logical replication offers more control and flexibility, and also use selective table replication upgrades and migrations, which I already discussed, and monitor replication regularly to follow best practices. Now I will show you the demo. Okay, this is my my master is running on 5454. This is the 5454 server. It's visible, right? Okay. So I am checking how my replication is in sync or not. So here I make sure that my standby is in sync, because both are running locally, so I don't have client address there. So both are in sync, there is no lag in between the servers. My physical replication slot is already available and which is active in state. Now I am connecting to 5455, which is my streaming replication server. So here I am going to check whether my server is in recovery mode or not. And on the master I am going to create one logical replication slot. Okay, here I have two tables. One is called accounts, which is a primary key table, and one is the test table, which doesn't have a primary key. So here my primary key, the logical replication slot has been created. Okay, so this is the current slots, because I have already created my streaming logical replication slot in master. So the first one is showing your slot name, slot 1, which is one is physical, and second one is the logical replication slot, which is slot type of logical. And now if you see the state is false, because the replication is not yet started, the logical is not yet started. But if you see the physical slot is showing active, that means my replication is already going with this slot. So I have already said this, which was not recorded. I have altered the table with the replica identity full, because it's a non-primary key table, which is, you can see this replica identity set to full already. Okay, and I have created a subscription now. The subscription name is called LR_pub. So I have given a checkpoint for that, and again I am going to see if how is my streaming replication is currently in use. So it's still in recovery mode, and now I am going to promote that as a master server. So it's promoted now, so it should not be in recovery mode. So now we have to get the redo LSN point, at what time the redo LSN has done. So this is the point where the redo done which LSN. So we have capture this, record this LSN, and you have to inform primary to start logical replication from that sequence number. So here I am replacing the LSN number and telling my master to start the advance my replication from that LSN. If you see this before the LSN is some other number, of course this will be frequently changed. So now it has been set, that LSN, and now we have to go and create a subscription on the promoted server, that is our replication server. So the subscription has been created now. Now I have to check whether my logical replication slot is active or not. See, earlier my physical slot was not active, and now my replication slot is active now, and the LSN also be changed. And now I am checking my data, whether data is being copied or not. So this is the table as a primary key, and I am inserting one row into this table. So that was not entered yet. Here I am committing that one. So the record came here, and the same way I am inserting one more row into the non-PK table.
We should also be doing that syntax for that.
So that has been copied to replication server. So here I haven't dropped my physical replication slot. You won't do that. That's it. Any questions?
What are the some of the restrictions we have between, any objects that needs to be transferred from one database to the other? Are there any restrictions, like you mentioned that it needs to, if we don't have primary key, then that the additional parameter needs to be set. So what are the other challenges or restrictions we have?
The other challenges is, if you want to use this logical replication for production, if you want to use this as a production server, then the sequences won't be copied. They can't be replicated. You have to set those sequences to the latest value of the table's value. The only thing, because everything, rest of the things are already replicated. Everything is replicated along with the users, global objects. Everything has been set in the streaming replication. So if you are doing only logical replication, in that case you have to copy, do the schema dump of the master to the replication.
Any other?
As per my knowledge, this is. If you have anything, you can let us know. Anything else?
I had one input on this. When we have physical replication, you're lifting and shifting the entire binary to binary, right? When you're converting this physical replicas to logical, if your current schema has got OIDs, right, those are not supported by your logical replication. So your primary server does not broadcast the OID information, right, which goes into the PG_large object. They are not done. So when you are converting your physical replicas to logical replicas, do a conscious POC of what data needs to go from your primary to logical, right? If you have OID as part of your database table schemas, right, you should not be doing the logical, at least you should not be doing that table as part and parcel of your publication. That's another one which came back biting us when we converted a physical replica to a logical replica.
Okay, what will be the problem if we use that?
Native logical replication does not support OIDs. Simple, plain and simple. It does not support OIDs replication.
No, when basically the logical replication will be get in place when mostly in the concept of upgrades, right? So when you do upgrade, that will be get changed. Am I right?
Like I said again, it does not support when you are doing on-the-fly upgrade, which means that you would like to do an zero downtime upgrade or near zero downtime upgrade. Your database primary is not broadcasting any changes that are done to your OIDs.
It will.
It does not. It's a known limitation. Like sequences does not get
Sequences don't
replicated by logical replications. OIDs are also not part and parcel of the logical replication because of the way Shravan can if Shravan you can talk about how the PG underscore large object internally works, which has this limitation of OIDs not being logically replicated, but that's how it is designed. That's how it is available as of now. One of the reasons why we have an extension called LOR, large objects logical replication. That's from PG Edge. Again, I'm one of the test engineers on LOR extension. So that enables your PG underscore large object metadata table from primary to your logical standbys.
Okay. Shravan, you do it.
Yeah, so I don't have an answer of.
It's a dinosaur, right? Now, large objects are a dinosaur, and anybody who is designing a schema with OIDs, they'll not have a job tomorrow or day after, right? But if you're talking about legacy applications, because we are not looking at upgrade as one of the use cases, right? So that consideration of OID value is very, very important.
Along with sequences.
Yeah.
I have one question. Some application that you had said about tables having no non-peaky columns, right? Then how does the PG subscribe, the new tool that has come with PG 17? Does it address that issue or?
In 17?
Yeah. The new PG
create subscriber.
Yeah. So does it handle that non-peaky column?
I haven't. That should no. You have to set identity full to there.
And
there
then run this tool.
Yeah.
Adding to this one, there was a question, right? So what all challenges you will have? So as you mentioned, right, sequences doesn't support, but there is a extension called as PG Logica. So it will give you the flexibility to add the sequences also to your replication set. So whenever you are creating the replication set, so if you add your sequences to that one, automatically what it will do is for after some time it will automatically add. So the cache value is something 5,000, so automatically it will increment that value and add it to the sequences. Even that feature is there in PG Logical extension.
Synchronized sequences.
Yeah.
That's the only part of your upgrade process which requires traffic to be stopped on the primary.
Exactly.
And then synchronize all your sequences on your target. Boom.
That should be ready by the time.
One more thing, like your second week, can become a primary domain?
Yes.
It will again.
Yeah, it can be.
So then
We
there
can
was
set streamings on the LR also.
yeah, because there was one of the client we had which was having 256 replicas. So with one, so they have so many read related queries, so they scattered on the 256 server and they want to do it in the Postgres. So Postgres, what we did is from master we gave it 4 slot from each of the secondary, we again gave the 4 slots.
Cascading.
So it is 1 into 4, 4 into 16, 16 into 64,
64.
and 64 into 256.
Okay.
So, but there was some lacking was there, and then you need a very huge server because you are getting traffic, and then just assume each one is replicating the 4 different slots. Although there are like a 256 there, but one is giving to the first one, then it will again become primary, and it will again give it to another 4.
Exactly.
So there is some lagging is there.
Lag should be there.
Yeah.
Because you are sending data to most of the servers.
Yeah.
So assuming we are doing the entire cluster wide map, we don't have to set any filters. So which one would be better, physical replication or cluster in terms of
Entire cluster is obviously streaming replication. But logical is only in the place of if you want to upgrade without downtime. In that
After
case,
the upgrade is done, so do we have to switch back to physical replication for better performance?
yeah, you have to. Because logical replication is read-write, right? So if anybody writes in the server, that will be, the other thing is DDL won't be support. So you can't use it in production environment. Okay,
But want to piggyback on this question again.
please.
Reiterate the question.
The question is, if you want to use which one is better? A logical replication is best or streaming replication is best? Any other questions?
Okay.
Go back to the steps, 10 steps, the 10 commandments that you have to have for converting. You mind talking about the step number 6 in correlation with the log files that you have had? Let's just take a look at the step 6 here, right? And then go back to the log file. I think it was round about. That's why they're actually capturing the.
Redo it. Listen.
While Abbas is looking at it, anybody have hooked up a Kafka replica or anything, any other output plugins?
The Debezium I used. It is only the POC I did. So the Debezium you can connect with Debezium wants Kafka.
What is the output plugin that they use? Do they support PG output?
No, but they are using your well file only. So the Debezium is the product where you can connect any of the AWS or Google or anywhere, and you can set some commands. So what it will do, whatever the well are doing, like the logical replication are doing, they will put it into the Kafka, and Kafka consumer, there is a consumer and a broker. So one is publisher. So this publisher will take data from PG and then send it to the Kafka, and then it will consume by another application. So maybe your Python code or anything you can do it. And from there what is happening is, let's say from you migrated data from SQL Server to Postgres. Now Postgres to, again, if you want to go back to SQL Server, let's say for a few more days or 1 month. So in that case, some of the data you migrated, let's say bit you have converted to Boolean. Sometimes you change your date also, some UTC date, because in PG you have UTC date, somewhere they have their server date. So you have to do this kind of thing. And the another thing is like the object which you have mentioned. Sometimes they have the object, so which is having the address 1, 2, 3, then CT, everything will be a address object. So while you migrate to Postgres, you do not have that thing. You have to divide each column into different each one object property into different columns. So now if you want to go back to your another SQL server, then what there is no way. So you use this Bayesian, which will give it data to the Kafka, and from Kafka, you know this is my insert statement or update statement. Then you can change, write your logic and then update to your SQL Server.
We would have a small POC on dependency ourselves, and as far as I recollect, it supports PG output, and there's one more plugin, I don't recall the name exactly, but there are two logical decoder on this PG output.
Yeah, this one you.
You want to talk about that in the log file, the series of events that happened, say, probably from third line, not third. From the fifth line top, database was interrupted. History file got created.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at the timestamps, that 143, the time, the database was interrupted, and because it was a fresh PG base backup copy. So once the base backup copy has been copied, and we have started the replication in the streaming mode. So at that case, it's entered into the standby mode this way. And then started, the backup, the recovery has been started from this particular LSN point. And this is the checkpoint LSN. And it was the timeline at 1. So if you see the series of the log file, the 1 represents the timeline 1, and this the A is the sequence of that number. And the redo starts as this LSN. So if you convert this LSN to a log file name, that will represent by A. And then it's looking for the next file, available file will be B in the sequence. So which is not available, and then it is completed its backup because the next file is not available in the archive location, the restore command which we set. And then the recovery, that at that point the recovery has reached the consistent state, so which is at 138. Okay, the redo with the LSN redo was at recovery done is when 028, and when the state is reached to consistent, it was moved to 138. And then your database has started accepting the read-only connections on the streaming server. And then after, if you see at 146, I have issued a command to promote this to a normal read-write server. So at that time, this received a promote request from the server, and this terminating val receiver process due to admission. So earlier it was receiving the vals from the master. Now the process has been terminated, the background process. And then it was looking for the rsync command, which doesn't work because the B file was not available at the time. And then if you see this invalid record length, because that was not completed, because in between we have done the promote, so that val segment was not completed, and that is found as invalid record length in that LSN. And later the redo has been done on the slave when it's promoted, that is the LSN. So which one we have told master to start this advance that master server to this particular LSN. Okay, and this is the last last completed transaction in the log was at 145. It's a database time, and it is looking for again B file which is not available. And then if you see, it's at the same time, it is 146, 25, 143, and at 221 the archive recovery was complete and checkpoint starting was forced, and database system is ready to accept connections again for the logical replication. So this is not for logical replication, this is for after promoting the server. So at 146, 25 the server is promoted, and it was started accepting connections at same time at 146.25. So after that the log was not shown in this after creating the subscription, because there is no subscription create command logged in this log file.
This is extremely important. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
If anything I missed, you can add it to that.
It's one thing like Oracle has the same concept, but what they are using is, I don't remember the name, but you have to purchase that again license. From your table, they will create a view,
Okay.
and then they will load the data into their another thing. Let's say you have 40-50 customers there. You are loading data, and from your data you are giving them to the
Other
client.
customer.
But the client will have only some particular information. So you can use some where clause.
Right.
So is this facility available here? Like ID, or let's say the client ID. So I want this replica for this client ID, which is equal to 1. Then another replica for client ID 2. So my primary is there, and it is inserting data for client ID 1 to 100, anything. Then the replication like 100 I will do, and I will tell them you can take the data from here. So instead of the table which is having all the data of all customers, can we have those kind of facilities?
So you mean to say row level replication?
Row level, and then column. On column, let's say I have all the data and I have a client ID also. So for one client, he is only interested for the client 1. If I will give the client 10 data, it is not good also. So is it possible in this one?
In the logical.
Yeah. Like you can select a table, but on top of it, can you have your where clause?
You want to go give a query to that logical replication. Based on that query, it has to copy the data. Right? We have a where condition. There's a logical replication. Conditional replication is there.
Conditional replication. What you are talking about in Oracle side is multi-tenancy.
Golden gate.
Golden gate, yes.
So we will have to look at row filtering on the logical replication side.
Yes.
So in logical replication, it supports column level, database level, and even table level or a row level.
So the next topic will be the same. He's coming.
Oh.